Welcome everybody to my first ever video. This is going to be a channel. TJC's facility is going to be a flee the facility based channel. I may eventually branch out into other games, and by then my name will be changed from TJC's facility. But obviously, if you couldn't tell, I am TJC, and today for our first video I will be ranking every single facility in the game from worst to best. Now, this is going to be my personal opinion. This isn't going to be objective or whatever. This is just the maps I find the most fun, or starting from the least fun to the most fun. And yeah, I do want to put out, I'm not level 3000 or something. I'm level 60. So obviously opinions will change in the future, and when we get 3 new maps from this one, I will make a new updated worst to best list. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into the video. Quick disclaimer. If you do end up enjoying this video, it would be greatly appreciated if you did like and subscribe, as I'm obviously trying to get this channel off the ground, and it would mean the absolute world to me. With that being said, let's start with number 13. Oh, and also, these are only maps that are currently in the game. Number 13, the nuclear power plant. So, this map to me just feels really bland. Some rooms have duplicate rooms. It's a pretty small map, and you get lost in it really easily though, and I just don't really care for it, honestly. It's not a horrible map. I think all the maps in this game have some decent value to them and reasons to play them. I also have not played this map too much, but I can say my favorite room in it will probably be that one security room where you can actually sit on the cameras. I think that's awesome. And number 12, we have the school map, which is a very loved map by a lot of the community, and it's actually in the footage playing behind me, I think, if this is matched up. And yeah, I don't really have a lot to say here. It's just not the kind of map I would care for. It's cool, it has a lot of detail, but it's just not my kind of map. I think you also get lost in it way too easily, which obviously I haven't played it enough. I do want to play these maps that I don't like more, so I can give more detailed thoughts on them. I think that one room, I don't know what it is. I know there's a computer spawn in there. I think there's stone walls and vines maybe. That's probably my favorite room if I'm not thinking of a different map. And with that being said, I'm going to move on to number 11, which is Abandoned Prison Maximus. Now, Abandoned Prison Maximus is a really well-made map in my opinion, but it's just, the original Abandoned Prison can never be beat. I played this game, I don't even know, I think it was all the way back in 2017 or 2018, near its original release, and I played the original Abandoned Prison. I was way younger, so I don't remember too much, but I do remember absolutely loving that map. And getting back into the game all these years later, and it being completely revamped, it's just not better in my opinion. I prefer the older version, but obviously I can see how it's improved objectively throughout the years. And number 10, coming in, we have the Haunted Mansion. Now, the Haunted Mansion is a pretty cool map. I think there's too much, or no. With the Haunted Mansion, you've got a lot of detail inside, but the outside is just so bland, and it takes up half of the map because it surrounds the entire map, and it's a pretty large area. If you actually compacted that into a square, it would probably be the same size as the Haunted Mansion itself, which for a map that is just supposed to be the Haunted Mansion, I think it would be way cooler if it was a way bigger mansion and the outside section was either way smaller, or you just escaped to the outside section when escaping. But besides that, I do think the map has amazing attention to detail I cannot speak, sorry. Amazing attention to detail, and it's a really fun map to play on sometimes. And that one really disturbing room that's like has red glows and really disturbing noises, I think that's really cool, really matches the vibe of the game. And yeah, that's all I have to say for the Haunted Mansion. So, coming in at number 9, we have the library. Now, the library, I used to be a hardcore hater. Every time it popped up, I used to say it's the worst map in Flee. But since then, I've honestly started playing it a lot more. Because I've moved from just playing in private servers to playing a ton of publics, like in this footage here. And I gotta say, it is actually a really fun time sometimes. And then the other half of the time, it's the perfect map to just camp in, in my opinion. And with that being said, I don't really have too many gripes about the library, so we're going to move on to number 8, which is the Arctic Station. Now, the Arctic Station also used to be a hardcore hater, but the more I've played, the more I can just appreciate the attention to detail and the love that goes into each of the rooms in there. I really do like how it looks, and I like that it kind of feels like 2 maps in one. Because the outside section, it's big, it's not super cramped and tiny. It's got like even smaller sections in the outside sections, which I might sound like I'm blabbering, but I really like how it's not just one big glob of a map, but I think it could have been executed a little bit better. And I feel like it is also pretty easy to get lost in a lot of the time. With that being said, let's move on to number 7, Abandoned Facility Optimus. So this is about the same thing as I said with Abandoned Prison Maximus, except I actually grew to love this one a lot more than the revamped Abandoned Prison. Now, do I think this map is flawless, or do I think it's perfect? Absolutely not. It still has its flaws. It's still, bad in some areas, but for the most part, this is a pretty fun map to play on, and, yeah. Okay, from here on up, these were really hard to choose from, so these are my top 6. Besides top 3, you could probably change 6, 5, and 4 any way around, and I'd still agree with the ranking, because, wow, these next 3 maps, they're all pretty new. 2 of them have custom escape sound effects. I don't think the other one does, to my knowledge, yet, but, yeah, these are really good maps. So coming in at number 6, we have the newest addition to the Flee the Facility map lineup. We have the spaceship. Now, the spaceship is a very, let's just say, interesting, unique map. Because I think every single map besides this is probably located on Earth. Let's just dig into the lore a little bit, which I know is kind of dumb, it's the Goofy Hammer game, but every single map, from here on out, besides Spaceship and before Spaceship, are just on Earth. And then you've got this awesome spaceship floating in the stars, and, I really like the attention to detail in every room, and I just love the concept of space and, all that cool sci-fi space stuff. So, when this map came out, I immediately memorized all the computer spawns because I knew I would be playing it a ton. My only gripe with it is I wish they animated the stars that you can see outside of some of the windows. I wish those would move a little bit, because you can really easily tell it's just a bunch of white pieces on black pieces in, the background, which it would be so much cooler if they actually moved around and it looked like the spaceship was moving. With that being said, let's move on to number 5, the arcade map. The arcade map is such a fun map. I think it's also extremely unique, but I think it would be cooler if it was one of the abandoned lineups, because I know most of these are probably canonically abandoned. But it would be cool if this was called the Abandoned Arcade or something. I think that would be pretty sick. But besides the name, this map is outstandingly fun to play on. I mean, it's got a perfect amount of variety, and it has outside sections just like Haunted Mansion, except they're way smaller and they have way more detail. In my opinion, some people may say Haunted Mansion has a bunch of detail outside, but I think maybe one computer, maybe not. I think 0, if not just one computer, I could be wrong, spawns unconnected to the main house. And arcade, there is one computer that spawns outside, and it's positioned perfectly. And there are actually 2 outside sections, if you didn't know. Technically 3, if you count the one with the exit, and then you've got the one with the computer spawn and freezer spawn, and then you've got one behind the cafe or kitchen, whatever you want to call it, which is just like a little dumpster area. I think that area is cool too. It's pretty unique. And just every room, like, you're in the red area, it feels like the arcade. The green area feels like kind of a play place. And you've got like the employees only area that kind of gives like abandoned prison vibes, if you're catching my drift here. It just feels like a bunch of maps in one, but it flows so smoothly, and I just absolutely love it. But with that being said, enough arcade glaze. We're moving on to number 4. The one, the only, the first map, and I think to introduce a special exit unlocking sound, the Sanctuary Zoo. Now, when I tell you that me and the boys played this non-stop when it dropped, and we'll still play it at any chance we get besides the next 3 maps, I'm being 100% honest. And it's for good reason. This map, it's simplistic, it's got like a simplistic style, but it also has a ton of detail, if that makes sense. And I just absolutely dig the design of this map. But I will say one thing, which is pretty unrealistic, but would be so cool if they were not interactable, obviously, but all the animals would have like animations of them moving around, and they could move around freely in their exhibits. That would be so cool. And even like, I know this is a huge stretch, this is probably never gonna happen, but imagine if you could leave an exhibit door open and like they all just like come out of the exhibits and just walk around the zoo. That'd be so cool in my opinion. I know, unrealistic, probably never gonna happen. Sorry, my audio's glitching out a little bit here. But it would be awesome, you know? And with that being said, let's move on to Números 3, Homestead. Now, Homestead is such a good map. And it's like 4 mini maps into one, really, because you've got the maze and the White House. You've got the garage, which I know the garage is super small. That's why I included the maze on the first one. And then you've got the barn. You've got the brick house, and obviously the main section, the like huge outdoors area. And it all just flows together so well. And I like how it's not super like oversized, because that would suck if it would take you like a whole 30 seconds to walk from, let's say, the White House to the garage. But no, it only takes like a good 10-20 seconds. And it's just a fast-paced map. It's really good if you're the beast, because it is so open and you can catch people moving around really fast and really easily. But once they're in a good spot, it is really hard to find them. Like when they're in a hard to find computer spawn, like the one on top of the brick house. With that being said, enough yapping on Homestead. Let's move on to Números 2. Hopefully I said that correctly. It's been a while since I took Spanish. And that is the one, the only. I mean, this is one of my favorite maps in any video game on Roblox that I've ever played. And that's the airport. The airport is so good, man. I mean, words can't really explain how much I've played this map and how much fun it is. Like, me and my friends have made inside jokes based on this map. That's how much we love it. And I think it's just it's such a good flow. But the reason it's not number 1 is, you know the side with the exit that's from the inside to the outside, and it isn't from the outside to further? That whole side of the map, like I'd say probably a third of the map, just has no computer spawns, which I think is really lame, because I would love for there to be a computer near the giant hammer statue, or like there's a computer near that kitchen area, but all the computer spawns are really cramped on the other side of the map, which can be good and bad at the same time. But I mean, I would just love for it to be, like, have a lot more computers on that side, because the closest one is like half the map away. But obviously, you know, I still think it's a phenomenal map, and the person who made it, I think it was Deadly Bones 28, I could be wrong. Great job, man. I mean, just an amazing map. But if you weren't expecting this next one to be my number one map, clearly you haven't played with me much. And that is going to be Facility O. Because, oh my goodness, sorry, that was really cringy. Facility O is just genuinely such a fun map. It flows so good. You can get lost in it, but then immediately recognize a landmark, which will obviously get you back on track. And each room is like, how do I put this? Like, the hallways are super under-detailed. Like, it's just all basic everywhere. And then when you're in a room, it feels like a whole different map in a lot of them. Like, let's say the rooms with the grass for the floor and, like, some wood decorations. That feels like a different map. That feels like you're in Homestead for a second. And then you've also got those white, like, glowing rooms. Those are so fun to troll the beast in. I mean, I can't tell you how many, like, level 1s I have lured into the white rooms while they're beast and just absolutely tortured them. Call me a bad person, but you need to try it. It is so fun. And I just think Facility O, I think it was the first map ever added to the game. And if it gets a revamp, might be the day I quit Flea, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm kidding. I'm sure if the developer for some reason revamped it, it would be absolutely like a super good map. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my 17-minute yap session that's going to be edited in to be a little bit shorter is officially completed. So if you did enjoy, once again, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff would be greatly appreciated. And if you do want to let me know what your personal list would be down below, I would love to respond to your comment and let you know, like, if I agree with your list, because I know people, they have opinions, goodness forbid, you know, but I would love to see what you guys think are the best maps in Flee the Facility. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get off of this 18-minute now yap session. My goodness, I need to be quiet. Goodbye.